Well, we will now focus our attention on golf once again. It's the St Jude Classic, very important tournament. Following the Memorial last week, we had a victory last week on this channel. Jason Duffner returned at 66 to 1. He closed out very well after two tremendous first rounds. He had a slip up in the third round. It was a couple over par. Usually when that happens, a lot of players fold, but Jason Duffner, who was able to compose himself, and got the job done in the end and saw it through. So that was a nice victory for us. But now, as I said, the St Jude Classic for this week, held at TPC Southwind. It's a par 70, 7,244 yards. The defending champion is Daniel Berger, someone who's been in decent form this year generally. He's well thought of. That was his maiden tour victory at the St Jude last week, and he's coming in at 25 to 1 on this occasion. I'm going to take Daniel Berger. Obviously, it's never easy defending your title. I think the price is about right. I'm not saying there's a huge amount of value on it, but it's not a fully comprehensive field this week. There are some big names missing, and I think Berger at 25 to 1, looking at the competition, I think it's a fair number. I think there's a little bit of value on there, to be honest. It could have been a bit less. The favourite is Ricky Fowler at 15 to 2. He is playing well. Went close last week. We know how talented he is. 15 to 2, you know my ethos on that. That's 7.5 to 1. It's a little bit too short for me. We're looking for value on here. So we're going to look past Ricky Fowler, the favourite. We're going to lay the favourite and look at other value plays. I'm going to take Billy Horschel, 28 to 1. A winner for us on this channel just a couple of weeks ago. He's in obviously very confident form, having won recently, and I think he can go close this week. And 28 to 1 is, he's in at a similar sort of price as Berger. I think it's fair. Maybe a little bit of meat on the bone there. Could have been 22. It's 28, so we'll take that. Horschel, a form player. If he gets the putts going, if he can capture that form he was in recently when he won the tournament, then he can definitely go close. So we've got Berger, we've got Horschel. We're going to take Ian Poulter, 50 to 1, who went close at the Players' Championship. I saw him hitting a few at the BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. Went down there, saw him hit a few balls. Looked in good nick. Obviously he would have been feeling good. The Players' Championship is a big event. He went close. He's definitely a confidence player. So I think he will still have his tail up. And I think at 50 to 1, I think it's a nice number there on Poulter in this field. Obviously, I wouldn't have him as one of the short favourites, but I'd have definitely had him at sort of 40 to 1, and so 50 to 1, I think there's a little bit of value there. Next, I'm going to look to Daniel Summerhays, 66 to 1. Very nice showing last week, very consistent play. Held it together quite nicely, I thought. Came up a bit short in the end, but 72 holes, it's not easy. I'm going to let him off a little bit. I'm going to focus on the positives, and I think he can continue. Again, the names in this field, relative to the other people in the field, I think he has a shot. 66 to 1, fair enough figure. So we're going to have a little bit on Summerhays. Willie McGirt, 66 to 1, just consistent recently. In the last few weeks, he's just been a name that's been at the top of the leaderboard. He was leading a tournament. I don't know. I can't remember exactly whether it was the Masters or the Players. There was one tournament. It was the Masters, wasn't he? He was leading for quite a while, and following that, he's just been following up solid performances week in, week out. So William McGirt will take him 66 to 1. Chris Kirk, 80 to 1. Always a good player to bet on. There's always a bit of value on him. He's a very talented guy. If he gets his act together, I think 80 to 1 could be an insulting figure for him. I think he could have been a bit less. So I think there's a little bit of value there. We'll take him. We're also going to look to Rafa Cabrera Bello. I don't think he played particularly well last week, but he's known for his putting, and this is a course where putting is important. At the end of the day, he was tied fourth in the Players' Championship recently. I think he's extremely talented, and the number they've put on him is 66 to 1. I think that's a big number on Cabrera Bello, so we're going to go with that as well. We're also going to look to the son of Bob Tway. We're going to look to Kevin Tway. If you look at his form, he's actually been in reasonably nice touch. He was a top 20 in the Dean DeLuca just the other week, 2 weeks ago, just before the Memorial. He was a top 20 in the Byron Nelson. He did well in the Wells Fargo, the Zurich Classic before that, and the Texas Open. So, you know, he's tied 105th in the Memorial last week. We're going to look past that because, you know, the 5 tournaments previous to that, he showed tremendous form. We're gonna hope that he can return back to that sort of form that he was in preceding the Memorial at 50 to 1. I think, yeah, 50 to 1. A nice number, you know, nice little bit, nice figure. It will generate a nice return. As usual, we'll be going each way on this tournament. We'll be going 6 places, quarter of the odds. So just to clarify those selections. We've got Daniel Berger 25 to 1, Billy Horschel 28 to 1, Ian Poulter 50 to 1, Daniel Summerhays 66 to 1, Willie McGirt 66 to 1, Chris Kirk 80 to 1, Rafa Cabrera Bello 66 to 1, and Kevin Tway 50 to 1. Fowler, I'm gonna, as my notable mentions who I'm not backing. Fowler, the price is too short for me, as you know. I don't like short prices, but he's in good form, so I think he does have a chance. If anyone was prepared to, you know, swallow the lowish odds on Fowler and just fancied him winning, I wouldn't argue with him. Adam Scott is there at 14 to 1. I think he has a very good chance. If he gets it together, he's a great player. He's a player we support on this channel. We often back Adam Scott. I think he will be dangerous this week. I also had a little look at Graham McDowell. He's out at 66 to 1. I thought that was, you know, a reasonable figure. One to potentially look at, but I'm not going to look at that on this occasion. We've also got Francesco Molinari at around 20 to 1. He was very tidy at the BMW PGA Championship. If he keeps it in play as he always does, keeps it tidy, he might not be too far away come Sunday. And we're also going to give a couple of notable mentions, Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson. They've both got tremendous records on this particular course and at this tournament. So those are 2 to watch. And I also note Phil Mickelson is not playing in the US Open. I think it clashes with his daughter's graduation or something, so he won't be at Erin Hills. Maybe he's going to put in an extra effort here at the St. Jude to try and lift the trophy, bearing in mind he won't be competing in the US Open. So, you know, there's a couple of notable omissions I won't be back in that you may want to have a second glance at. The Ricky Fowlers, the Adam Scotts, the Molinaris, the Brooks Koepkas, the Phil Mickelsons. But no, I've given my selections and I'm happy with them. Hopefully we have fortune as we did last week, and hopefully you have fortune with your selections. Please like and subscribe. Please comment if you have any opinions, and I'll see you on the next video.